Okay, so for tempera paint techniques, first thing we're going to do is mix a tint. And a tint is when you mix a color with white to make it lighter. I just put some white on my paper. When I switch colors, I'm going to make sure I always wash, wipe on the side of the cup, and blot on a paper towel. This way I know my paintbrush is clean and is not going to mix up all my other colors. You can see someone has already mixed up this white paint. If you do this, I'm sorry, I'll add more white to it, but I'm not going to wash these out. So you have to take care of your paints, and you have to wash, wipe, and blot. Otherwise, all your colors will get mixed up. Take care of the paint, please. So I have some white on my paper, and I'm going to make a tint of green. So I have some green here. When I mix together, now I have a tint which is a lighter color of that green. Again, I'm going to wash, wipe, and blot. Mixing a shade means you're going to make your colors darker. So if I take that same green, and if I add a little dot of black to it, we always want to use little dots because if you use too much, your color is just going to turn black. So now I have a very dark color of green. Double loading is when you put more than one color on your brush. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of white on my brush. So I've got some white. And I'm going to actually take another brush if I need to, or take this off my palette. So my palette today is my magazine page. So I've got some blue on here. So I'm going to take some blue off there. That way I'm not mixing up my paint containers. And then when I brush, you can see I get more than one color in my brush stroke. And the brush stroke is any mark you make with your brush. Dry brushing is when your brush does not have a lot of paint on it. So you can do two things. You can either start with some paint on your brush and just keep brushing until it starts to run out. And this would be dry brushing. Or you can put some paint on your brush and then take your paper towel and blot most of that paint off. So now when I brush, I get these drier marks and it's not thick paint. So that's dry brushing when your brush is running out. Liquid tempera paint is fun because you can do thin layers of color, you can do thick layers of color. So if I'm doing thin, I might spread my paint out until my paper shows through. I might also try doing another layer of color on top of that. And if I'm brushing thin, you can see where the colors overlap. Thick layers might mean you have blobs of paint and you're not seeing colors between it. Last technique, scratching. I painted this a little while ago, I let it dry. If I do a different color on top, I can flip my brush over and I scratch through and I can see that design.